This edition of Italy New York is brought to you by
L'energia non si ferma. Mai. L'energia crea. Si trasforma. Diventa un'idea per generare nuova energia. Diamo all'energia un'energia nuova.
and Cheerio chopped tomatoes.
In this week's episode, Americans in Love with Italy, Francine Segan interviews Cicli LI. Dolce Vita, creating a masterpiece with chocolate and olive oil. Genius, AnthonyJ Tamburri reviews 2 books for children. City, a performance installation by Italian artist Maria Cristina Finucci. Events, paintings by Giulio Turcato at NYU Casa, Italiana. And now let's start with Cicli LI.
Cicli LI was born in Beijing, but has lived in the States since she was 12. Cicli is a TV host, producer, and director. She's starred in many food, travel, and lifestyle shows, including The VIP Pass and Chopsticks Only. She's currently working on her 7th TV season of Food Paradise. Cicli also hosts the International Chinese Culinary Competition held in Times Square every year. She might be a girly girl, but she's always up for a challenge and recently ran a 12-mile race in Seattle that's billed as the toughest race on the planet. I'm delighted to chat with Cicli about her travels in Italy and her love for Italian food. Cicli, thank you so much for being here. It's so great to see you.
It's such an honor to be here. Thank you, Francine, for inviting.
So tell me, what does Italy mean for you?
I love Italy. I love Italian people, and I really like Italian food because I have always believed that good food unites people. So regardless of your age, color, or religion, right? It makes people happy, and I think Italian food just makes me happy.
Now, you and I had a fun time going on a press trip together through Piedmont.
Yes.
So I'd love to have you share a little bit about your experience, because you were filming for a Chinese TV show.
Right.
So tell me some of the experiences you had. How about the truffle hunt?
Okay.
What was that like?
It was one-of-a-kind experience. I mean, I didn't guess that throughout centuries that the real truffle hunters have always been dogs, but not human. So that was really interesting for me. And during that day, we just all went into the wood and we really didn't know what to expect, right? So we just followed the truffle hunter, and all of a sudden the truffle hunting dog started digging into the ground. And we were like, oh my God, what happened? And eventually the dog found a real truffle. Everyone was cheering, you were cheering, I was cheering. And then it was just like he found a treasure. It was amazing, yeah.
And do people in China like Italian food?
I think Chinese people really like Italian food. I love Italian cuisine, but especially for truffle, honestly, the first time I didn't quite get it because it's so unique. It's so different than anything else. But there's a really interesting phenomenon about truffles that I found is once you tried it and you're used to it, you'll like it. And once you like it, you'll fall in love with it. That's something that's special about it.
And the Italian truffles are so wonderful. You went to the White Truffle Fair in Alba. What was that like?
That was also quite educational and fun at the same time. I get to hold all kinds of different truffles, and they're so expensive, you know, because there's nowhere else that you can see that much truffle. You get to hold them, smell them, and see which one is good. And the judges, the truffle judges, they actually tell you this is good, this is not good, don't buy this, and you should buy this. Something like that, yeah.
And where else did you go in Piedmont? You visited the capital, Turin?
Yes, I went to Torino, it's an amazing city. Because Torino has such a rich culture and history, and then I love all the different architectural arts. Like you have different styles, the Baroque style, Neoclassical, like Art Nouveau. And sometimes I just want to stand there and at different palazzos that you have just not do anything, just absorb the air, the environment, and maybe just watch the people because it's so charming and full of stories.
Since you were filming for TV for China, did they take you around to the special chocolate shops of Turin?
Yes. I love it, especially the hazelnut chocolate.
Gianduia.
Yes, that one, the one that looks like a little gold, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like so delicate and then so luscious, but not too overly sweet, which is perfect for me. Do you still have some?
Ate it. Okay. And there's a special drink
right.
that is very famous in Turin, bicerin, which is a mix of hot chocolate and coffee.
I missed it.
You didn't get to come to Cafe Bicerin?
I was filming elsewhere, so I missed the whole drink thing. And then everyone's telling me that you were telling me that it was amazing. I'm like, oh no, I don't have a chance anymore.
I have to make you a layer of hot chocolate, a layer of espresso, a layer of cool froth. It's amazing.
That sounds like a deal. You can make it, right?
I can make it.
Okay.
So tell me something fun, something funny that happened during your trip.
Okay, so like when I first got into Italy, landed in Italy, everyone is like CCC, CCC, C. And then my name is Cici. So everyone just calls CC, which means yes, yes. And I turn and I turn and I turn. And I'm like, wow, I'm really popular in Italy. I should move there.
I can see you getting whiplash. CC.
CC.
Oh, you're wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your trip to Italy and your love of Italian food. Cici.
Cici.
Let's speak Italian and let's eat Italian.
Being surrounded by so many masterpieces, I feel inspired to create my own work of art. Just as an artist creates his masterpiece using raw materials, my culinary masterpiece will be the result of combining the materials I have found here today: chocolate and olive oil. But not just any chocolate and oil. Perugina chocolate and Colavita extra virgin olive oil. Because it's the quality of the ingredients we're using that determine the ultimate result. Here I have a traditional chocolate sponge cake. Feel free to use a personal recipe of your choosing. The recipe really doesn't matter because it merely acts as a canvas for our glaze, which is so easy and sinfully delicious. Once again, we'll combine chocolate with olive oil to hold the layers together with a creamy chocolate flavor. For the icing on the exterior of the cake, just add a little cocoa powder for a bit more thicker consistency, and then you are ready to ice the cake. Once complete, I'm decorating it with a baci, both the classic baci covered in dark chocolate and baci white. Again, the contrast in color, taste, and texture is what adds to the sensory experience, and once you taste it, you'll see. It's delicioso. Enjoy!
Check out Italian Genius.
I want to mention 2 books today. I'm not going to tell you much about the books because they're very short. They are basically 24 to about 30 pages each. But what they are is something that is a little bit unique with regard to Italian-American literature, quote unquote. And that is, they're 2 books that belong to the category of children's literature. There are a couple of writers fairly well known who have done some what we might call kiddie lit books. But we also have another author who is perhaps more known as a novelist and a poet, but has also published 2 children's books. One was published back in 2008, and it's called Teeny Tiny Tino's Fishing Story. And you see that it is the experience of this little boy. The other one that just came out is called State Zitta, Jose, Be Quiet, Jose. I want to bring these to your attention because it is a genre that, for the most part, as far as the Italian-American community is concerned, has been sort of overshadowed by other literary products, such as the poetry and the fiction that we are used to reading. The author of both these books is Rachel Guido de Vries, who is, as I said, both a fiction writer and a poet. She has 1 novel. She has published entitled Tender Warriors. She has also published a series of short stories elsewhere, and also has 4 books of poetry. The latest one due out this fall, entitled A Woman Unknown in Her Bones. For those of you who have children, grandchildren, nieces and nephews, I recommend both of these books to you that you can they can read for themselves if they're of a certain age, or that you can read to them if they're only 3 or 4 years old and are learning to read, and you can read them together so they can read them. Again, the books are Teeny Tiny Tino's Fishing Story, and the second, State Zitta, Jose. And with that, I say to you again, buona lettura.
This is our Italian city. Let's take a little journey with us.
È importantissimo perché questa settimana si è svolto, come si sa, questo grandissimo vertice sui cambiamenti climatici, voluto da Ban Ki-moon per sensibilizzare i leader del mondo, ma anche le persone, l'opinione pubblica, sulla grande minaccia dei cambiamenti climatici. Tra questo ovviamente parliamo delle minacce all'ambiente, ovviamente c'è anche quello che si può fare per contrastare l'inquinamento, ovviamente. E questo della Maria Cristina Finucci, questa installazione molto bella, che è molto originale, a noi serve molto, ovviamente ci fa molto piacere, che permette una settimana dedicata all'ambiente di convincere, diciamo, gli Stati membri dell'importanza di dedicare tempo, risorse a questa lotta contro l'inquinamento atmosferico e anche inquinamento dei mari, ovviamente. L'arte è importante perché è uno strumento universale, immediato, che viene capito da tutti, non c'è bisogno di parlare, c'è bisogno di guardare, e l'installazione di Maria Cristina Finucci è talmente evidente, talmente facile da capire, che parla a tutti i Paesi membri, 193 delle Nazioni Unite.
L'idea di fare qualche cosa per salvare gli oceani mi è venuta quando qualche anno fa ho letto su una rivista che esisteva un'isola grande come il Texas, formata da rifiuti plastici. Allora ho deciso subito che dovevo andarci, e poi ho fatto una ricerca su internet e invece mi sono accorta che quest'isola, a parte che era molto più grande del Texas, erano invisibili perché tutta questa plastica viene disintegrata dal sole e non si vede, però è sotto il pelo dell'acqua. Bisognava fare qualcosa. Soprattutto rendere coscienti le persone dell'esistenza di questo problema. Ho deciso di creare questa immagine e quindi ho fatto diventare questa grande estensione uno Stato. Era terra di nessuno. All'UNESCO l'11 aprile del 2013, davanti alla direttrice generale, ho piantato la bandiera su questo territorio, tra virgolette, e l'ho fatto diventare uno Stato. Subito dopo lo Stato ha cominciato ad agire come un vero Stato, quindi ho costruito il padiglione alla Biennale nel cortile dell'Università di Ca' Foscari e poi dopo è andato a Madrid nella fiera d'arte Arco. Poi abbiamo aperto la prima ambasciata di questo Stato al Museo Maxi di Roma e adesso siamo qui alle Nazioni Unite per cercare di sensibilizzare anche gli Stati, non solo le persone. È una narrazione transmediale, cioè dissemino gli indizi dell'esistenza di questo Stato, del Garbage Patch State, nel mondo e nella vita reale. Quindi faccio molte azioni, dalle più semplici come stampare le cartoline del nuovo Stato, aprire l'ambasciata, appunto a fare un padiglione alla Biennale o fare un'installazione all'ONU. Ogni azione di questa opera contribuisce a formare l'idea di questo Stato. Questi tappi mi sono stati donati da una ditta che fabbrica vitamin juice, questi succhi di frutta vitaminizzati. Siccome sono organici, sono senza conservanti e sono fatti in maniera naturale, li ho accettati e soprattutto perché questi tappi e queste bottiglie non si usavano, quindi non ho sciupato niente, adesso ritorneranno al loro posto.
We changed our bottle and our caps, so I had them left over. Obviously, we're not going to waste them. We want to recycle them for this whole project. But of course, Cristina needed them for her project to make a statement and to create awareness about waste, plastic waste in our oceans. So I decided to donate these caps and bottles for the next 3 weeks. And then afterwards, we're going to recycle them all. The way to communicate is through Cristina's hard work, and there was no way that I could make this happen or communicate the awareness that needs to be raised. So Cristina was very instrumental in creating that awareness. And so she needed plastic caps and bottles that were not being used anymore, and so I decided to donate them to her.
Let's check it out.
An extraordinary event not to be missed.
Altissimo, onnipotente, buon Signore, tue sole laude, la gloria e l'onore, et ogni benedizione. A te solo, Altissimo, se confano, et nullo homo e ni digno te mintovare. Laudato sia, mio Signore, con tutte le tue creature, specialmente Messor lo frate Sole, lo quale giorno et allumini noi per lui. Laudato sia, mio Signore, per sora luna et le stelle. In cielo le hai formate, clarite et preziose et belle. Laudato sii, mio Signore, per quelli che perdonano per il tuo amore e sostengo infirmitate e tribolazioni. Beati quelli che sosterranno in pace. Cada te, Altissimo, usciranno incoronati.
Coming up next, our exclusive event.
The choice of Giulio Turcato is part of a larger curatorial plan that is greatly followed by Isabella del Frate Rayburn. Our goal is to present with this series of exhibits the greatest artists of the 20th century in Italy. So this is part of a long journey that we have undertaken many years ago, and that includes the likes of Burri, Fontana, Accardi, Sanfilippo, Mirko, and a variety of other artists.
Da 25 anni che sponsorizzo l'arte italiana negli Stati Uniti, cercando di portare il pubblico americano a conoscenza di tanti artisti italiani che non erano per niente conosciuti. Turcato è uno di questi artisti che è già venuto negli Stati Uniti negli anni 60 ed era molto amico di Scarpitta e poi anche di altri artisti americani, e dopodiché è ritornato nel 78, ha fatto una mostra all'Istituto Italiano di Cultura, però dopodiché non era più tornato e la sua arte negli Stati Uniti non è per niente conosciuta.
I'm Martina Caruso and I edited the catalogue for this exhibition. It's been published by De Luca Editore, who's based in Rome, and they've done a really excellent job, and we've been working on it since March, and I wrote a text, and my father did too, because he has a lot of memories with Turcato. He grew up with him practically, and he wrote a very poignant piece in the catalogue about that.
Turcato also was chosen because he had a connection with New York. So every time we bring in an Italian artist, we also try to bring in the connection that this artist had with New York. That is not a neutral city, it's a city that was of fundamental importance for 20th century art. And for the people of his generation, New York and the United States represented really a sort of freedom of expression that sometimes they had a problem finding in Italy for a variety of ideological and political reasons.
Penso che questa mostra sia un inizio per poter portare all'attenzione del pubblico americano questo grande artista italiano che anche in Italia in un certo senso è un pochino sottovalutato.
I actually teach art history in London, but I am also involved in the archive, in the Giulio Turcato archives in Rome, because, well, partly because it's a family thing. He was my uncle, and it's the first exhibition of Turcatos in New York since 1978, so it's been a while. It feels really nice to be here and surrounded by all of his paintings in such a homely, in such a beautiful house as well.
I think that bringing him back here and being surrounded by this explosion of colors and shapes gives an idea of this enthusiasm in this discovery of new art forms, and the freedom to use all the colors and all the shapes and not follow a specific path of communication.
Dall'archivio Turcato vengono. E quando ho dovuto scegliere questi quadri è stato veramente difficile poter fare una scelta perché hanno uno più bello dell'altro. Secondo il mio gusto posso dire che mi piace moltissimo questo dell'uva col sole, che trovo molto bello.
This piece here, it's a piece that stimulates my eye but also gives me vibrations all over my body, reverberates with me, and it's, of course, it's a moon surface, and it's more or less at the time when the first man landed on the moon, and it was this idea of the craters and these discoveries, and at the same time is presented with this beautiful bright color that still vibrates as if it were done yesterday. Well, we hope that the American public will recognize in some of these paintings elements that are also traceable in contemporary American artists. The dialogue between the two sides of the Atlantic was very, very lively in the 60s and 70s, and even with a small exhibit like this, a small but precious exhibit like this, we contribute to recreate a dialogue between the artists on the two sides of the Atlantic.
This edition of iItaly TV was brought to you by Colavita Extra Virgin Olive Oil and Baci Perugina Chocolate. Say I love you in the Italian way.
Coming up on next week's episode, Americans in Love with Italy. Francine Segan interviews former Democratic New York City Councilman Peter Vallone. Dolce Vita, tailored cuisine with Rosanna and Daryl, pappardelle al ragu. City, the opening of Friar Francis at Brooklyn Borough Hall. Events, Michelangelo and Versilia at the Italian Cultural Institute.